Welcome to the real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
Hello and welcome to the Real Ramblers. I'm Bill. This is Lee.
That's me.
So today on the Ramblers, we're trying something new. Something new. And it's not a drug.
No, I'm on drugs.
Yes.
Meth.
You're on math?
Yeah, I couldn't do math back then. I wouldn't do it now. Meth. I'm talking about meth, crystal meth.
So, today we're introducing a new thing that we're going to call double takes.
Yeah.
Double takes.
Jesus Christ. Bill's on meth.
That effect. That was a cool effect.
Yeah.
That was not done digitally. That was purely just me.
Yeah.
So in these double take episodes, we are going to each pick a film and then discuss
talk
them
about them
with each other.
Yeah.
Usually films that we have an affinity for.
Yeah, like kind of personal favorites or...
Yeah. Films that we'd like to bring to your attention, even though you may know them, but...
Yeah. It's kind of like art, like it won't just be like, here are facts about the movies, although I will include facts, of course. But
I'm not going to include any facts about mine.
You're going to like anti-facts. You're going to make up shit about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like facts, but also just like why we love it or whatever. I mean, this is our first one, so we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So we can start with yours. You want to start with yours?
Sure. So my pick is The Crow. Not a surprise.
I haven't heard. It's about a bird.
It's a sequel. It's a prequel to The Birds. It's just focusing on one bird.
One bird. Okay.
The one that started it all.
The one bird's like, I'm fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
what should we do, everybody?
Yeah. Walk, I need friends.
Let's go to Bodega Bay.
Jesus Christ. No, it is the 1994 Brandon Lee movie, The Crow. Anybody that knows me.
Directed by Donald Trump.
Oh, do not. How dare you? How?
I told you I'm only myths today. No facts.
Podcast just kidding. Over.
Alex Proyas,
yeah. And anybody that knows me knows like I'm obsessed with The Crow. I was obsessed when it came out. I believe I saw the movie.
By the way, what the shit happened to Alex Proyas?
I don't know. Yeah,
he was like everybody was going nuts like that in Dark City.
And then I don't know what else he's done. Maybe he's had a big career like over.
I know somebody recently asked him, "What do you think of the new Crow coming out?" And he was like, "Stupid, don't even try it."
I know. It's like some of the original people were like dumping on it, and it's like there's been one photo.
What did Brandon Lee say about it?
I will contact him when I go home. I fucking wish I could talk to Brandon Lee. Yeah, so I love The Crow with every fiber.
I just watched a documentary yesterday on Disney Star, called Be Water about Bruce Lee, and it was really good. Check it out.
That's awesome. I'll check that out. Yeah, I've been obsessed with The Crow since 94. I think I saw the movie first. I went to the comic book then. And since then, there's been 3 sequels. There's a reboot coming out. There was a TV series, woof. There's been like a dozen comics, about 6 or so novels, a big book of short stories. So there's a lot in the Crow world.
There was a Crow toaster.
If there was, I would buy it because I'm just that obsessed.
Wouldn't that be cool? It just toasts the Crow silhouette on your bread. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
They do ones that have the Death Star.
Obviously, the movie is based on a comic book by James O'Barr, and he wrote this comic. It's like it kind of sucks that The Crow has always been associated with death because James O'Barr had a fiance who died because of a drunk driver.
Right.
And his way of processing the pain was to make the Crow comic.
Right.
And it took him like a decade to do this comic because every time he would start it, it would
get
bring
all
up
terrible
terrible feelings.
Yeah.
But by making the comic, that was his only outlet.
Right.
Then the comic is, I don't know if you've ever read it or whatever.
Nope.
It's the movie, the Brandon's movie, and this.
You gave me a novel years ago, which I read
by night,
but I don't remember much of it. But
that would make an excellent movie.
Yeah.
The novel read like a movie.
Right.
So the original comic was a lot darker and it had a lot more weird kind of imagery.
I don't think I have the book anymore. I think I used it as kindling in a fire.
Son of a bitch.
That's what I do with every gift I get from you.
That's what that burning pile in your backyard was. So yeah, the comic was much darker. There was like Eric in the comic. He didn't even have the last name Draven. That was for the movie.
Right.
He wasn't a rock star in the comic. He was like a mechanic maybe.
Right.
But there was a lot of like other like drug use. Like he would like inject himself with heroin and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
And self-harm type stuff in the comic. Yeah, it was much darker, but also very close to the original movie.
Right.
Obviously, it's impossible to talk about the movie without talking about Brandon Lee's death.
Yeah.
Which they were a couple weeks away from finishing.
Yeah.
They had done all the big like kind of action set pieces, and the last couple of weeks were going to be mostly the stuff of him without like the crow makeup on and all that.
You know, and the funny thing with Brandon is, he inherited like this natural martial arts skill. Like watching him fight was like watching Statham fight. It's like he had a very unique style, and it was great to watch him. But I think the thing that was most evident that he inherited from his father was his charisma.
Holy shit.
Because he had such on-screen charisma.
Ridiculous.
Like I still Rapid Fire is like
Rapid Fire is great.
Rapid Fire is such a cranked out story that could have been any 80s movie, 90s movie with anybody in it.
Yeah.
But he was so charismatic in the role.
Yeah.
And brought so much to the character and to the fighting.
Yeah.
That it's if you're an action fan out there and you haven't seen Rapid Fire because you were writing it off as some whatever, watch it because it's actually really, really good.
The fights are great, and yeah, like you said, Brent, like that dude would have been the biggest movie star.
Yeah,
I had even heard rumors that because like the Wachowskis had been kind of planning Matrix for years and years and years. I had heard rumors that they had at one point even thought of Brandon Lee being Neo.
Wow.
Which holy shit, that would have been incredible. A real quick for obviously people know that he died on set. A real quick way that it happened. There's actually an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, which is streaming somewhere, all about Brandon's death.
Wow.
And like a lot of movie stuff changed
even though it's not really an unsolved mystery.
Well, no, I know it's not. It's,
that's kind of weird.
You know, but you know, there's always that dumb shit of like the Lee family curse. It's it's not a curse. It's just really unfortunate events. But basically, a real quick version of what happened is because there was the pawn shop in the movie, the set. So they went to a real pawn shop to collect stuff for props to set dress.
Right.
And somebody grabbed, which they shouldn't have, live ammunition, real bullets.
Right.
Which I guess you can buy at a pawn shop in America. So a real ammo is not allowed to be on movie sets, of course. So it got stuck in somebody's trunk. Then due to, you know, budget and time and stuff, they were like, they needed blanks for the guns.
Yeah.
So they took the bullets back and they altered the bullets to make blanks. And there's two kinds of blanks. One is a flash round, which has more gunpowder and just a cardboard tip. So when you fire it, big explosion out of the gun.
Yeah.
The other ones are dummy rounds where they empty out all of the gunpowder and the primer on the back of the bullet is fired off, and then they put the tip back in so that, like, if you have a revolver and, you know, the bullets look like bullets.
You'll see it.
So they were making the empty shell ones, and somebody forgot to fire a primer off on the back, and they put the tip back on. They're filming a scene where
essentially creating a bullet.
Yeah, just with nothing.
Round.
With just nothing inside it. Except air. And that's the thing. They put the bullet in a gun, they pointed at the camera, click, click, and something went pop. And they were like, "What the fuck was that?" And they looked and didn't look obviously fucking good enough because the primer went off, air expanded, and the tip of the bullet got lodged in the gun.
Yeah.
And then that gun went into a box for 2 weeks. And then they were filming his death scene. They put in the flash rounds with the extra gunpowder. Michael Massey, the actor, who quit acting for a solid year after. Yeah. Because not his fault at all. Like, that is not his job as an actor to check this gun.
Yeah.
But he's the one that shot Brandon. And the guilt, like, he was like, I can't do this anymore for a while. So they shot him in the abdomen.
Tell the people prosecuting Alec Baldwin that it's not his fault.
Oh yeah. That's Chris. Someone else, the prop master, just got charged or sentenced or something too.
The prop master is the one that should be charged. It's your job, dude.
That's what. Yeah, I don't know enough about that to have it. Just anyway.
Yeah.
So they were filming the scene where Eric comes home to find the bad guys there, and they shot him, and he died. Of course, in real life, and he died at the hospital. He was 28 years old only, which is fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
They weren't going to finish the movie because they were like, how could we possibly do this? But Brandon's fiance and Brandon's mom were like, you have to, because he put so much into this movie, and this would have really been his big breakout thing. So
and I will always agree with that. I think it's, if somebody did something creative and didn't finish it, the last thing you should do is bury it.
I think it was almost like too hard for them to like continue. Like, how do we continue? That, you know, like, because of, you know, how does somebody die and then like you just go back onto set? Like, I can imagine how hard that would be.
Yeah.
So there's 2 shots in the movie that are CG of his face on someone else's body.
Yep.
When you watch the movie and he's having the flashbacks of what happened to them, that's his double. And that double is actually the guy who directs the John Wick movies.
Oh, Chad Stahelski?
Yes.
Oh,
so he was Brandon's double.
Wow.
In those scenes. So yeah, they pieced it together as best they could, which, like, for me, it still holds up.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I just rewatched it yet again.
Yeah.
There was originally more supernatural elements to the movie.
Right.
And Michael Berryman, the actor, like, who most of you know, look him up. He's
Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Devil's Rejects, and the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And he had a role in the movie as this character called the Skull Cowboy, which in the comic was this like rotting cowboy looking guy who kind of was a crow. He was brought back
like a guide
in cowboy. Yeah, but it's like he didn't complete his mission.
Right.
So he has to just like live on in this like eternal waking death.
Right.
And he was just like, follow the crow, do this and that. And they filmed some of those scenes, but they never finished the effects and stuff. So they ended up cutting that out.
Right.
And which is why in the original cut of the movie, Eric, you see him show up with like tape on his arms later and no explanation. And that's because he was only supposed to kill the 4 guys that killed them. Yeah. And anything else that's not that, he'll start to become mortal. So when he helped that woman in the bathroom and he's like, morphine is bad for you. And he like squeezed the morphine out of her. He started helping people he wasn't supposed to.
Right.
So he started getting mortal. And then Fun Boy, the guy that was in the bathtub, he woke up and grabbed us.
Fun Boy. Just wanted to punch that guy in the face the whole movie.
The worst.
He was really good at what he did.
Yeah. In an extra scene, he got out of the bathroom, put a bag of Coke on his face, snorted it, grabbed a straight razor and started slashing at Eric, and he wasn't healing. That's why the duct tape shows up. He's bandaging himself back up. They obviously had to cut all that stuff. Yeah, I love this movie with all my heart. I love that. The soundtrack was. Remember when movie soundtracks were like, that was a big part of the marketing of movies, right?
For sure.
And
we should note that Alex Proyas was a music video director.
That's right.
Before he did that, he did In Excess, Crowded House, Fleetwood Mac.
That's right. Yeah. And he was perfect for that.
Yeah.
Because
it had to be a rock and roll revenge tale.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that they added in that he's a rock star.
Me too.
And stuff like that. I think it really worked for the character.
Him playing guitar on the roof, man.
Oh, that shit's legendary.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Proyas is so good at atmosphere.
Totally.
Like heavy. It's heavy atmosphere in that whole movie.
Oh, very, very. It's like he wanted to do it black and white because the comic obviously is black and white, and the studio's like, no. So he's like, cool. Well, we're gonna make it.
I'm amazed they haven't done like a black and white special edition.
Me too. That would be. I would love that.
Be cool.
Especially because this year is the 30th anniversary,
right?
Which is fucking crazy to me.
Yep. That's why it's coming out on 4K.
Yep. And finally, like they're finally doing a reboot, which they did. It's filmed.
Yep.
The pictures of that dropped recently.
We'll be doing an episode of that soon.
It's June, I think it comes out. So I 100% will be there opening night.
Yeah.
I've had so many discussions online. Some people literally like, I try not to get into internet fights, but when it's something I love, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
And some people are like, Brandon died for this role. And I'm like, no, he died during the movie. Like he didn't sacrifice himself.
I know, so
like that's a fucked up thing to say. And I always say, because they're always like, it's like shitting on Brandon's legacy. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Like these are
all the same. It's just like, I can't believe I'm still seeing posts everywhere that are like, Henry Cavill's the only Superman. And I'm like, did you see Christopher Reeve? Have you ever seen Christopher Reeve? Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, we'll get to that in our
They're just morons.
So it's like, I get it. Like there's not many more people out there that are as big Crow fans as me.
Yeah.
I think there's certainly a lot. And it's like, I get it. Like Brandon's legacy will never be like, it'll always be there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They made 3 bad sequels, although again, I revisited 2, 3, and I started to watch 4, and I'm like, I can't get through this piece of shit. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like, and there's now, it's funny with a lot of old movies that are hated in their day, that aren't maybe the best movies, but there's a new appreciation coming. And I've started to see articles. People are revisiting Crow City of Angels, and they're like, maybe this is kind of a neat movie. And there's a lot I do like about it.
I haven't seen it in years. I'll have to revisit it.
It's very like the last third is butchered because again the studio was like, it was way darker too, and the studio was like, no, we're reshooting an entire third of this movie, make it just like the first movie. And that's what hurt it. Like it had a darker ending originally, but there's a lot to part 2 that I really like. It's visually amazing. Soundtrack is amazing. Some performances are bad, some are good. But it's like if the other sequels and the TV series, did you ever see any of the TV series?
A little bit, I think.
Mark Dacascos is who I love. We all love Mark Dacascos.
Yeah, he's great.
He was Eric Draven. And it's like he was Brandon's character. But in the TV show, he comes back from the dead, but he's not allowed to kill people.
Yeah.
That's like against the rules. If you want to get, it was called Stairway to Heaven. And if you want to get to heaven to see, you got to help people. It was like the Hulk, the old Hulk show.
Or like Highway to Heaven.
Exactly. And when he got mad, the crow makeup would appear on his face. And it's like, I get, he can't like, I gotta go fucking help that person. Like, let me put my makeup on. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, they're treating it like he's a werewolf. So it's like, none of that hurt Brandon, like a bad sequel. Like they remade Psycho. It was terrible. They remade Nightmare on Elm Street. That was terrible. Like it didn't do anything to, if anything, it strengthens the original movie. And with the reboot, something that I thought was really cool is because as I mention often, I like watching people react to things for their first time that I love. So I can see if they like it. And I watched these two dudes on YouTube who watch movies, and they're like, we didn't even know about this Brandon Lee movie until people started talking about a reboot. So we thought we would go back and watch the original, and they loved it. So the new one will bring people to the original, which is great. And there's no way people are going to be like, it's dog shit. Like, it's very 90s, of course, but it still holds up, I think.
And I'll just do a little shout out to the supporting cast in the movie as well, because
of course,
Ernie Hudson, great. Michael Wincott, who I think is one of the most underrated guys. Dude is so good.
Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead. He's so such a charismatic
he's in.
villain.
I don't know if you've ever seen Ridley Scott's 1492 with Gerard Depardieu about Columbus. He is amazing in that.
He was in Nope recently.
It was great to see him back.
He's got the best voice.
And David Patrick Kelly, who I don't remember what his character's name was. What's his character's name?
T-Bird.
Right. Who is also Sully. In Commando.
And the Warriors.
That's right.
It's got an amazing cast. Just it's so atmospheric. It's crazy how long. I mean, they've obviously been trying to reboot it since the fourth movie came out, and they've gone through so many scripts. At one point, like Nick Cave, the musician, wrote a draft of a script they were going to make. That obviously didn't pan out. So many different. There's a dude from Boardwalk Empire. I don't remember his name. He was attached to be the Crow.
I know.
At one point.
The Crow has definitely been something that keeps surfacing, then disappearing, disappearing.
Rob Zombie was originally supposed to make the third Crow movie. Called The Crow 2037. And it didn't pan out, and it was really weird. Originally, when they were making part 2, they almost offered it to John Bon Jovi.
Wow.
Weird, right?
Weird.
But Mark Wahlberg was attached at one point, which terrible.
No,
I won't do it. Why are you trying to hurt my bird, bro? I'm just trying to exact revenge. Why are you trying to do this? Like so many. The Jason Momoa one almost happened. There's like you can see leaked test footage or whatever you want to call it online, and I was surprised. I'm like, oh, he actually kind of looked cool. But from what I've heard, without spoiling too much about the new one, is that it's a very completely different story. Except there's a character named Eric and a character named Shelley.
All right, this is Double Take, and it's about the original movie.
I'm sorry.
You're running out of time.
Am I? Okay. Well, whatever. There's a reboot coming. We'll review it later. I love The Crow with all my heart. It still stands up. That's my first one. I don't know if I did a good job on my Double Take talking about.
It's a solid choice. I love the movie. I mean, if you would have given me an opportunity to say what I thought of the movie,
I'm so sorry.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Shoot in your things.
Kidding.
I want to know
love
your
it.
view too.
I love the movie, and I think that Brandon and Alex Proyas are the two reasons mainly that it's the classic it is. Brandon for his performance, and Alex Proyas for like the look of that film is legendary. legendary and has been copied in how many movies since.
Agreed.
But it's amazing. I love
one of the best comic book movies.
Yeah,
I think,
amazing.
Too. This is our first double take. So, and it's something I love so much, and I get really like motor.
You're still going. It's my turn now. It's not called a one take.
I thought we were calling it one takes. I thought we were calling this.
That's all right. I'm going to go over in my movie too. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
No, The Crow is an absolute classic, and I love it, and I can't wait to own it on 4K.
Oh man, yeah, I would love to see it in 4K. I will come over.
I hope
and watch
the restoration is amazing. I think it is. They're making a big deal of the release. Like I've seen advertisements everywhere, so I'm hoping.
If you guys do a movie night of The Crow on 4K,
we'll do it.
I will come over and we can give it a watch, and I would love that.
Okay, so my choice.
One more thing about The Crow. Just kidding.
The thing I like about this double takes idea is that the movies are going to have absolutely nothing to do with each other.
No.
So my choice is Barry Levinson's 1984 movie, The Natural.
Right.
I'll start by saying, in real life, I am not a sports guy at all.
You're not a real sports head.
Not a sports head, but I love sports movies. They're great in general. I'm never like, sports movies aren't on the top of my favorite movies, but I really enjoy watching sports movies. But something about Barry Levinson, for one thing, as a director, I've always thought has I think he's underrated, and I think he has a magical power.
Right.
There's just something. He made another movie called Avalon, which is it's about a Jewish family that coming to America.
Okay.
And I can't even tell you how unbelievably fantastic. Kevin Pollak.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. There's a character actor that's in a million things that plays the dad.
McDermott?
No,
that's a throwback.
No, but Avalon's great. But Barry Levinson, and he did Rain Man. And,
of course. Rain
Barry
Man,
Levinson's fantastic.
Yeah.
But The Natural, ever since the first time I saw it, people talk about movie magic and how some movies, like E.T., they capture something that's beyond just being a movie.
Right.
When a movie hits certain notes with you and there's just something else to it.
Right.
And The Natural has always been that movie for me. It's based on a novel, and it's basically about a dude who was when he was growing up, he was like a prodigy in baseball. And then something tragic happens to him, and he comes back years later and joins a team. And he's way too old to be a rookie. But his past kind of starts catching up with him, and he's mysterious, and what happened to him is a little mysterious. In the novel, the guy who wrote the novel infused Greek mythology into baseball and turned it into this weird, tragic story of mythology, but in the world of baseball.
I thought that was interesting too.
Really interesting approach. So the movie, Barry Levinson, it's filmed gorgeously, has the most amazing cast. Robert Redford is the lead as Roy Hobbs. It's a fictional team, the New York Knights, 1946, I think it's supposed to be. Like
the later part of the movie, because earlier it's 19 years earlier.
Yeah. There's a time gap, but when the main part of the movie, I think it's the 40s. But Wilford Brimley is the captain of the team, and he has a big quarrel with the owner of the team for shares, and he feels down on his luck because his team does shitty. Yeah. They suck. And all he's ever wanted was to win a pennant. And so he's this down on his luck guy, and Wilford Brimley is fucking fantastic in this.
So great.
His co-coach is Richard Farnsworth, who, again, come on, these guys are Hollywood heavyweights.
Yeah, that guy was fantastic. He was in Misery. Now that was him in Misery. Shit, that's right.
And he actually did. David Lynch did a movie with him called The Straight Story.
Oh shit!
And it's the least weird David Lynch movie ever. And it's about a dude who, I think he's dying, and he decides to drive his tractor across the country to see his kids, his grown kids.
Right. I remember.
And he is a powerhouse of acting. Movie. Oh, it's an amazing movie. But anyway, he's in this. Michael Madsen is one of the team players, who's a real smarmy hotshot.
And uncredited Darren McGavin, fantastic in it with the eye, magic eye. Kim Basinger. Oh yeah.
Barbara Hershey. Amazing cast.
Yeah.
But to me, The Natural has always played. What? And Glenn Close. Yeah. Sorry, Glenn Close, who is the love of Roy Hobbs' life, but who have been separated since their teens. And it's an interesting thing when they're playing themselves around the 20 mark. They didn't bother.
That was the one thing
they
I was
didn't
like,
recast it. But I think Barry Levinson was like, it doesn't matter. I don't need to make them look young.
I didn't realize that they were like, he was playing 19 years old at that point, because he was like, literally, he was 47 when they filmed it.
Yeah,
and
he's 47 playing 19, and they didn't even attempt. All that they did was like put clothes on. They didn't do anything to make them look young. But it didn't matter because it was only a couple of brief scenes.
Yep. Yeah,
and you know what they're playing at, and because of the world the movie takes place in, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and I think Barry Levinson knew that. He's like, it doesn't matter. But anyway, when he's young, there's a great scene. His father dies by a big tree on their farm. And then he's distraught over it. And I think they make it look like it's like the night after his dad's death, or maybe something the night of.
That, yeah.
And lightning hits the tree and splits it in half. And he takes the wood from that tree and crafts his own bat. And then he burns onto it a lightning bolt and Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
And
what is the secret to your power?
What?
Wonder Boy. Tenacious D.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
so he brings that bat with him. But anyway, what I was going to say before, and I got off
sidetracked. I got sidetracked. How do you like it? Go ahead.
The movie to me is always played exactly like a superhero movie. Yeah. Now, was this the first time you watched it?
Yeah, I'd never seen it before. Yeah.
So the parallels to a superhero movie are blatantly obvious.
Superman.
Yeah, it's Superman.
To Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah, because when Roy joins this team, the New York Knights, like I said, they're the bottom team. They can't win a game to save their lives. And something about his presence and his desire, he says in the movie that all he ever wants out of life is that when somebody sees him walking down the street, he wants somebody to point to him and say, that guy's the best in the game and the best there ever will be. So he inspires the rest of the team, and they start playing really well, and they start winning and winning. And then things get sidetracked, and that's where things become like superhero, because the weakness to Roy Hobbs is not being with the right person. Yeah. That's his kryptonite.
Yeah. So and not focusing on
what's important.
His goal, like what his purpose is.
Yeah. So when he gets distracted with Kim Basinger's character, things start to fall apart again. Yeah. Because he's meant to be with Glenn Close.
Yeah.
And he's not acknowledging that.
Kim Basinger was up to no good.
I know. And Darren McGavin.
Yeah.
Doing really good there, kid. I bet against you. I'll make up on it somewhere else. But so I want to hear your thoughts. I have so many things. One thing I didn't know, Jay, you might enjoy this, is Bret Hart. His like key phrase was like, "I'm the best there ever was." There was some line.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
He got that line from The Natural.
Really?
Like he's admitted it in interviews that he saw The Natural and was like, "That's my line."
Yeah, and I think he kind of like, because he's like, there goes Roy Hobbs.
Yep,
like the best there ever was. So I feel like the wrestler took like kind of expanded on that, but that's for sure. He said that's where it came from. Yeah. Like I don't know if like his entire slogan is in the movie, but that part is for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so I want to hear your thoughts on what you thought of it.
It was great. It felt like,
because you're the same with sports movies, right? Like you're not.
I really like sports movies. I find it much more engaging than actual sports.
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks, your favorite?
Mighty Ducks was great.
I love it.
I remember back in the day really liking it. For real, I was just like, hey, this is like a fun and
with Emilio. This is my Emilio impersonation. Come on, guys, play hocky.
I was like, is Emilio in the room?
I know.
Hold on.
I know. It's funny.
Here's my Charlie Sheen. Got some Coke.
What's that Will Smith golf one?
Hitch. No.
Oh. No, yeah, that's right.
I
can't remember what it's called.
No. Bagger Vance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Anyway, we're talking about The Natural. Sorry. So anyway, what did you think of The
Natural? It was, I really liked it, and totally, it was almost like, I don't know if this is the correct way. It felt like very dreamlike, the whole movie.
That was his cinematography and the direction,
you know, in like a cool way. And definitely like when we were talking and you were like, I wonder if you'll compare it to superhero movies. And I was like, yeah, there are themes of Superman in this, like a person who has like a special ability.
Yeah.
Their dad has a heart attack at the farm.
Yeah.
They go away for like 16 to 18 years,
Yeah.
only to come back to inspire people around them.
Yeah.
Then, he kind of gets sidetracked by a lady. Clark loses his powers because of Lois and Superman 2.
Yeah.
Only to be like, fuck, I'm off track. I got to get my powers back.
Yeah.
And then comes out on top.
Yeah.
And
he does things that no other human can do.
Totally.
Because the way all the scenes of Roy doing what he does in that movie, I get chills.
It's like he has superpowers. Like he has
he goes out at one point and really casually, he's going to bat and really, really low key, Wilford Brimley goes, "All right, Hobbs, knock the cover off the ball."
Yeah.
Really just in passing.
I don't even know if I caught that
Really?
he said that.
Yeah, he says that. And then he goes out and hits the ball and literally knocks the cover off the ball.
Yeah.
And the umpires are picking up all the thread from the inside of the ball. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? So that's great. And then there's another one where he hits it and it shatters the clock.
Yep.
And then at the very end, it hits the lights and the spark. And that scene right now, I'm getting the hairs on the back of my neck.
The music that plays there, I'm like, they must have used this music in other things because the music I recognized immediately.
Let me just say, that score is Randy Newman.
Really?
Yeah. And to
like Toy Story?
Yeah.
Left foot, right foot. I like toys.
That's the guy.
And you playing baseball, knocking on the park.
There's my sign off.
Randy Newman. Randy Newman's done a lot of scores. And to me, his score for The Natural is one of the only times I can think of that a composer that's not John Williams has come close to a John Williams score.
It was very John Williams.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you could I thought of this the other day when I was rewatching The Natural. You could take his Natural score and put it to footage of Christopher Reeve's Superman.
It would actually fit.
I bet you it would work.
Yeah.
When he shows up in Superman in the suit in the fortress for the first time.
Right.
If you overlaid the home run music, it would work.
Yeah.
Randy Newman's score is beautiful.
I'm going to have some spoilers here just because we want to talk about it. And the movie's old, so if you haven't seen it by now, eat shit. But yeah, I was surprised by, like, I'm watching it and they're like, he's gonna be the best and we're gonna draft him and all this stuff. And then like he struck out the dude who I'm like, is this supposed to be I'm like, is this Babe Ruth? Which it is the equivalent, I guess.
It's definitely supposed to be Babe
for
Ruth.
sure. He looked just like him.
Yeah, Joe Don Baker.
That's right. Yes,
he was great.
That's where I knew him from.
And he was a smarmy asshole too.
Super asshole, yeah. But they're like, holy shit, like this guy is he's gonna be something. And then he meets this woman and she's like weird off the bat, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And
Barbara Hershey.
Yes. And then she just shows up in his hotel room and he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, shooting you, bang. And she shoots him.
And there are scenes before that when Max Mercy, how did I not mention Robert Duvall's in the movie?
Oh yeah. So good. What an asshole.
Yeah, I know. So Max Mercy is reading in the newspaper about other athletes who have been shot.
Oh shit! I
didn't
notice that.
There's two different scenes where they say this guy who was a football player or something was murdered, and nobody knows. And they found he was murdered with a silver bullet.
Holy fuck! He was a werewolf?
No,
not anymore.
But and there's two mentions of it that somebody is murdering the best in their sport.
Wow!
So that's what her thing is.
Holy shit!
She's trying to destroy the best things.
Jesus, it's amazing. Thank God she didn't show up in Teen Wolf. Because he was a basketball player and he was the best and a werewolf. Fucking, he would have died anyway.
Yeah, the silver bullet. Yeah, he would have been done in.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So it's like 30 minutes into the movie or whatever. She shoots him, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell?"
Yeah,
it really caught me off guard.
Yeah,
and then it's like, it jumps like 19 years, and I was like, "Oh, this is not going where I expected it to go at all."
Right.
It's crazy that and it must also just be because of the time it was in, because he's very he doesn't want to talk about his past ever to anybody.
No,
because and they also have
and he's very boyish and innocent.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody says something, he's like, "Hey, mister."
Yeah,
he's kind of
stuck in that like 19-year-old version of himself.
Yeah,
that didn't die, obviously, but kind of, you know what I mean? Like that cemented who he is later in life.
Because Max Mercy said something to the guy who was drafting him on the train. Right. He said something like, "Hey, whatever, old timer." And then Roy Hobbs is like, "Hey, mister, watch your mouth."
Yeah.
He
always has that.
He's Roy Hobbs is good, like Superman.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Oh shit, I lost my train of thought.
It was Barbara Hershey.
Yeah, she shot him, and then just about how he was like he didn't want to talk about you know, what happened.
Yeah.
And then there was also like kind of like rumors floating that like, you know, when they started to discover like Robert Duvall is essentially like 1940s TMZ.
Yeah.
You
Totally
know, like
was, yeah.
paparazzi trying to expose him
Yep.
and stuff. And they're like, she died. And it's like, did he kill her? We don't know. We don't know, do we?
Yeah, she killed herself.
Oh, she killed herself. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that was the rumor that maybe he killed her.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because they said that at one
They
point,
thought
right?
it was
They're
a love
like,
triangle or something.
yeah, and they're like, there's even rumors that he killed someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, a part of me wanted to be like, he should have just told people like this happened to me.
Yeah.
And fucking
But then you got to take into account that it's the 40s.
totally, right? And it's like
You don't want to admit that you've been involved in anything that's
scandalous
like
and
that.
stuff. And yeah, it's like way different times and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and not that I viewed that as something wrong with it. I was just like, just tell the people that you were the victim, dude. You got shot by this crazy lady. But yeah, and I was so spoiler alert for the end. I was 1,000 because they were like, because he gets like poisoned or whatever from Kim Basinger.
Yeah,
because they want him to like throw the game.
Yeah,
because obviously the people above him are like, we'll make your life great. Just throw the game. Because
the judge.
Because if they
his
win,
dark office where he won't turn on the lights.
Yeah, I know, weird, right? Because if that team wins, the thing with the contract, Wilford Brimley kind of gets the ownership of the team back.
Right.
But if they lose, the
he's
dickheads,
out of work.
Yeah, he's out. So Roy's like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to throw the game. Like, that's a shit thing to do, and I want to do it for this guy. Yeah. I want him to have his team back. And he says
to Darren McGavin, tomorrow I wouldn't bet against me.
Yeah,
I love
classic.
That.
So it's so great. Yeah, super like cocky, but in a great way.
Totally.
And then I was like, did she poison him? She must have poisoned him because he also his wound that won't heal, which is the mythology.
If you go back, you see at the party that he's hanging out with other players, and she comes up and goes, "Try this."
Yeah, she puts in the
and
food
gives
in
him
his
a little
mouth.
hors d'oeuvre.
So they try and like poison him to get him to like. So he can't.
So he
play.
won't show up for the pennant game.
And then the doctor, who's like, you play one more game, you're dead. And I'm like, you're on the fucking, you're being paid to say this. Like, no way. And he's obviously still injured. Like again, that goes back to in the King Arthur story. There's a character like Pop Fisher who has a wound that won't heal.
Yeah.
But it's him in this.
Yeah.
And then he fucking wins the game and stuff. And I was like, I was so convinced that like right after the game, Bunk he would like drop dead.
Yeah.
You know, I would have put money on it. And then it's like, oh, he's alive. Oh, happy ending. He's just like, he gets to meet his son. And yeah, totally.
And for me, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is he's having the bad time, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then Glenn Close decides I'm going to go to one of the games because they're traveling, you know, they've come to my town. And she shows up and he doesn't even know he's had no contact with her.
Yeah, for like 19 years.
And Barry Levinson filmed it in a way that she's wearing this big, thin hat.
Yeah, like a wide-brimmed white hat.
And the light behind, in the making of, they say that he had people in the stands way behind her to stand up and block the sunlight. Okay. So she just was there.
Right.
And then he's going up to bat and he's kind of got a feeling there's something different about today.
Yeah.
And then he strikes out. And then he goes up to bat again, and then she stands up. And when she stands up, the people behind moved out of the way, and the light goes through her hat, and like
it's like a halo. Almost.
Yeah, and it illuminates her like a halo.
Yeah, and she's wearing all white, so she really stands out.
Yeah, and he feels it, and then that's when he hit the one. I think that's when he hit the one that broke the clock.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think he looks and he sees her, right?
No, he looks and can't find her, and then after he does the home run, he comes over and he's looking in the crowd for her.
Right, okay.
And then the next day in the newspaper, it's like, who was the lady in white?
Mystery woman, yeah.
Yeah, but I love that just her being there brought his power back.
Yep. Yeah, it was great. I like even that like he inspired the other teammates that they started wearing like the lightning logo on their sleeve, you know, like that's how he's like Superman,
and I loved
right?
how it was written that I loved how everybody talked authentically like it was the 40s, because like and the Bat Boy, I love the Bat Boy.
That kid was great. Yeah,
he was so good. And then when Wonder Boy breaks and he's like, go on, Bobby, go pick me a new bat, and he goes to get the bat he made.
That was great.
So great.
Yeah, it was just like it was like magic. It was like everything, you know.
Yeah, and that one teammate was like, what's that lightning bolt on the bat? And
Yeah.
he's like, it's just something I carved because the tree was hit by lightning. And he goes, I like that. And then
Yeah.
the next shot is he has
He's
it on his
wearing it.
arm.
Yeah, and like,
just
yeah.
the one guy.
Yeah.
And the other players are making fun of him. Hey, what's with the lightning bolt? Are you going to start hitting the ball for a change? And all of a sudden that guy starts hitting
Yeah.
home runs. And then the whole team has the lightning bolt.
Which is amazing. Yeah, it's that
Amazing.
like he's like Superman. He's like that symbol of hope. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the lightning bolt is like the
and
Superman
it
symbol.
inspires
It's
them
what
all
it
to be the
represents.
best they can be. And-
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I was really happy that I finally watched. I'm kind of glad that I waited all this time to watch
Yeah.
it now with like adult
Yeah.
eyes, kid
That's
brain,
so good.
but adult
it's
eyes.
so good.
Yeah,
So if you're a sports fan and you haven't seen it, check it out for sure.
yeah,
But even if you're not a sports fan, if you're just like, hell, if you're a superhero fan, watch it because I think there's stuff you'll get out of it.
yeah.
Not to mention Redford is just
He's great in it.
awesome.
Yeah,
Like he's so good in it. I always forget how goddamn good Robert Redford is until I go back and I watch All the President's Men and 3 Days of the Condor and even stuff like The Horse Whisperer from later. And
right.
it's like, or Sneakers.
Oh yeah, shit.
Like he's so good. There's a reason he was like the leading man for decades.
For sure.
But The Natural is,
Yeah, it was great.
It's in my top 10 movies of all time.
What year did it come out?
84.
84. Okay, good year.
It's just, to me, it's a movie that really, truly has movie magic in it. There's just every single time the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It's just so
this was in a way, a good head-to-head or double header. And I'm not even like joking.
okay. I thought you were
You
gonna
look
make
like
some
what
joke.
dumb shit are you going to say?
Because the Crow played baseball in
No.
a deleted scene.
A baseball bat. A bat has wings like
A crow.
No, but kind of two movies about heroes, but one in the light and one in the dark.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Hey, nice connection.
Yeah. I did it.
Wow.
Maybe that's the thing. We pick the movies, but then at the end, we're like, what will connect
try and
it?
connect them.
I don't know what'll connect
That's
the
a
next
pretty good one, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can't remember. What did you pick for the next one?
We'll save that and
Okay.
tell people when we get there.
Okay.
I picked Leon,
Oh, right. Okay.
and you picked
American Psycho.
American Psycho.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed our first attempt at a double take. And please revisit The Crow and The Natural because they're both phenomenal movies that deserve rewatches.
Yeah.
There's a director's cut of The Natural that has some interesting stuff in it. I still prefer the theatrical.
Oh, okay.
But if you're a fan of the movie,
Wow.
check out the director's cut because it does have some interesting extra stuff in it.
It doesn't happen often where the theater cut is actually better than the director cut.
No, usually I'm usually all about...
Just punch the microphone, sir.
Lee just punched the microphone. I'm usually all about director's cuts.
Sure,
but,
sure.
In this case, it kind of hampers the flow a little bit,
Mhm.
but not by much. It's still cool. And it's not a big difference. I think it's like a 6 or 8 minute
okay.
difference. But so check them out. And we'll be doing another double take in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So
Any little mini reviews or anything, recommendations or anything like that? I can shoot one of mine out while you're looking for yours. Because you guys made fun of me at one point, sort of, or shook your ever disappointed.
I don't think we've ever made fun of you. I think you're mistaken.
Fucking assholes. I have watched 2 out of the 3 Equalizer movies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is what I think. Stay with me, because it ends in a good place.
I have some interesting things to...
Okay. So far, because I haven't started part 3 yet.
Okay.
I think I like 2 better than 1.
Me too.
I think if it wasn't Denzel and what's the director, Anton
Fuqua.
if it wasn't them, they would be very run of the mill, generic.
Well, number
action
1,
movies.
I think, would be. Number 2, I think, is exceptional.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think without because Denzel is so
I agree.
fucking good.
Yeah.
Like he's such a good actor, and he's such a good director.
He said in interviews that he truly loves that character.
Yeah. I think they're great and they're super fun.
Yeah.
And he's so good. And it's what not grounds it, but just I think brings it over that level. It could have been if Taken is a great Liam Neeson movie, but he's done others that are just very generic throwaway horseshit things, right? And it could have been one of those.
But I think it is one of those strange franchises where, because I like them 2, 3, 1 is the order
2, 3,
I like
1?
them in.
Okay, cool.
And 3 for me is very close to 2.
Right.
I think Jay, you liked 3 best, didn't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
3's all in Italy.
Right.
And
I think maybe I started 3, but
It's fantastic.
I couldn't finish it.
But I
I'll go
love
back to it.
2. 2 is just that hurricane at the end and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, that was bananas.
My God.
Yeah, the action's
I
really
love
cool
2.
and stuff like that.
But how many series the original is the least of them all?
Yeah, not many. Mission
Not
Impossible
many.
maybe, but 2 was the worst. But Yeah, and it's I feel like I don't know if they address this or if it's kind of implied or you kind of decide for yourself, but I'm like, his character is very like, I'm like, he's like autistic or something. Like he's on the spectrum. Like the way he's so meticulous.
There's even more of
times.
that in 3.
Okay. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of a neat, like,
and his napkins and his spoons.
Yeah,
and,
I'm like, he's on the spectrum for sure. And that's kind of a cool, like, representation thing to have this.
I think so too.
Yeah. So awesome. Yeah. So that's my, I'll get back to you with 3 when I see that one.
We're running over, but I'll just throw in really quick that one of my favorites recently is Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage.
It looks bananas. I don't even know what to think.
It's so good. I can't even tell you how good it is.
Okay, cool.
It's so original. I think it's an A24.
I'm in.
It's so good. And it's basically the story is just that random people start having dreams where Nicolas Cage, who's a professor, just starts showing up in their dreams, but not doing anything.
Okay.
He's just standing there. So somebody could have this scary dream and Nicolas Cage is just standing there and they don't know why.
It's a documentary.
And he becomes a celebrity because hundreds of people start having him in their dreams.
Huh.
And it's cool because they don't really attempt to explain it.
Weird. Okay.
It's just a weird phenomenon.
I'll check it out.
But then it takes a turn.
Okay.
And I think I think Cage, since he started doing these like not theater movies, has been cranking out some of the best work of his career.
Nice. Yeah, totally.
And you mentioned Liam Neeson, and it's funny because I'm kind of thinking he's the same.
Okay.
A lot of his direct-to-video ones, some have been... The Ice Road was a little much.
Okay.
But some of his stuff has been really good. The Honest Thief was amazing. And same with Cage. Some of the Color Out of Space is maybe my favorite Cage movie.
Ooh, okay.
And
So
it
that's
was
one I haven't yet seen.
Oh, you'd love it. It's so good. Very Lovecraft, and it's awesome. But anyway, Dream
the one with
Scenario.
Pedro Pascal is incredible too.
I actually haven't seen that one yet.
Oh my God, it's so good.
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah. It's...
Okay,
you'll love it.
I'll
it's
watch
so
it
good.
this week.
Pedro's fucking 10 out of 10 in it too. They're both amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dream Scenario, definitely check it out. It's a winner.
Yeah.
And what?
I said, all right.
Okay, all right. So that's it for this week.
Our special sign-off guest is apparently Jennifer Coolidge.
Okay.
Well, wow. Real ramblers. Those guys make me want to have 2 hot dogs. Because of penises. Okay. I don't know what it turned into. 2 penises. It turned into like Mr. Hanky. Turn into 2 penises. No, what's his name? The teacher. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we'll see.
Signing off.
See you next week. Keep rambling.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.